going on, freaks? I don't even remember what's supposed to be up in these other windows over here. I forgot. Oh, sort of event list. I guess it's not there right now. Freaks, how's it going? Yeah, so we got the situation the other day with Sandy Shirley's gifted memberships sorted out. She said she tried to go get it. I mean, that's what we were waiting for, to see if she could get it, and I don't know, how hard she tried or whatever, but she couldn't get the refunded money, so I sent her back. At first, I sent her $250 because I thought that's what the amount was, but that's the amount YouTube gets. But apparently, with Apple Pay, they charge extra $2 per. I mean, it's what a racket Apple Pay is. I mean, my God, if you buy 50 channel memberships, they charge you $100 just for the privilege of using Apple Pay, and Apple Pay gets $100. And then the $250 goes to YouTube. So, like, Sandy had to pay $350 to buy the 50 memberships accidentally. So, once she said she couldn't get it back, I sent her the full $350, which means that not only did the channel lose $75 that would have been from the income that came in, additional $100 because I had to pay the Apple Pay money to make Sandy whole again. All right, so it's just Apple Pay. I mean, what a joke. Okay, so when there were people saying it's $350, Gray, $350, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Because normal people use just regular. They don't have to use Apple Pay, and it's $5 per membership. If you're using Apple Pay, it's $6.99, which is ridiculous. It's like $2 just to get it. All right. So anyway, hey, thanks Cheryl Bullock up there. And so of course, the trolls, they always have to go out there and they end up having to communicate with Sandy, going, "Hey, Gray, hey, did you pay?" I already had it all figured out, you guys. She was going to go try to get the money back. If she couldn't, I was going to give her money back, because she's been a loyal supporter here and supported the channel for a long time. So I sent her $350. She's all even again. I'm not. Who cares? That's the way it is. All right? But these effing assholes that travel around every single day trying to, "Ooh, Gray, what are you doing? What are you doing?" You guys are sick people. All right? You guys are sick people. You got a hold of Sandy Shirley on Twitter. "Hey, come over here. Hey. And all she thought you guys were disgusting people. That's it. Because you are. You're an embarrassment. All right? So just, God, you guys just let people do what they're doing. We know what we're doing. You guys are sick. All right? So, hey, you guys, when you're watching this show, if you could help support the channel, that would be awesome. Because now we're way deep in the hole now. $175 short of where we had previously been, and we were already having a bad month. Okay, so if you could please help support the channel, that would be fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, these people literally got a hold of Sandy on Twitter and started going, hey, can we ask you some questions? Hey, did Gray ever pay you back the money? And then, of course, the dipshit ex-mod that was on here from years ago is just an absolute breaking. She already had to send her a cease and desist letter. She never gives up on it. She just keeps going and going and going and going. She's just a pile of crap of a person. Okay, look her up. All right. Anyways, there you go. We're gonna go ahead and get started on the show. All right, but please help support the channel tonight. We're way behind. All right, thank you. We had a show earlier today, did absolutely terrible on that one. So if we could have a decent night tonight, that would be fantastic. Let's see. Yeah, it's none of their business. That's what I told Sandy. I'm disappointed that Sandy had to communicate with them at all. I don't want any of you guys communicating with these idiotic trolls. They don't do anything but troll. They're the worst of the worst people on the planet Earth. My channel has donated $293,000 in 6 years to true crime-related charities, and I don't give a shit how you go, hey, look at Gray, look at your Gray, you're always asking people to send money, money, money. Yeah, I need income to survive as a channel, and I also bring in income so that we can give thousands of dollars out a month to true crime-related charities. And if you don't like it, go watch something else, okay? We make a huge, huge difference outside of just doing the show. God damn, it's just... I don't know. These people are just the biggest losers on the planet, and they know it every day. They look in the mirror, they look at themselves, and they're so embarrassed. But they'll go, oh, I'm doing good because I'm trying to ruin a YouTuber who's one of the only ones that actually gives a damn thing back. Can you name another YouTube channel that's even come close to $293,000? How about even close to $3,000? I mean, they don't do anything. We do here. God. I'm just telling you, I don't really give a shit. You know, forget it. I'm just tired. I'm tired of the whole thing. It's just absolutely ridiculous. These people, like Sandy Shirley was on the show the other night. She meant to send in 50 channel memberships, or 5. She meant to send in 5. She accidentally hit 50. And then I was like, wow, you can't refund. YouTubers cannot refund the money. YouTube is going to process it, and it'll be income coming in. What happens is they take 30% of the $250 that they get, but Apple Pay was an extra $100 on her side. So it was a nightmare, and then it showed up, and everybody started talking about it, and it just turned into where the whole show got derailed, etc. And then they come around, and every show they can show up to, they start going, Gray, justice for Sandy, can you help everybody? Gray stole money from Sandy, Gray stole money from Sandy. And the whole time, she said that she was going to go call her bank and see if she gets it, right? And I said, okay. If they don't get it, in my mind, I was just going to send her money back. And that's exactly what I did, all right? So screw you, all right? But you guys, look at right now, we've only got one single new membership in here. Can you guys please help support the channel? We're way behind now. Thank you. Man, it's like it sucks to have to ask 14,000 times every episode. I'm not in a good mood. Can we just have a good night tonight? Thank you. Good Lord. Anyways, the first thing I wanted to do was go over the Rex Heuermann thing today. All right?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen,
where he pled guilty.
Before we proceed, the court is in receipt of numerous applications from media and press agencies seeking permission to video record and or photograph today's proceedings. The court is mindful of the significant public interest in this matter and the important role of the press in ensuring transparency and public access to judicial process. At the same time, the court must...
You can't decide to do that, nosy Google. There's nothing that says that anywhere. I mean, your name fits you perfectly. There's no way to set some setting somewhere that says, I don't take memberships from iPhones. It doesn't exist. Okay, if it does, show me where it is. I've never seen it.
Ensure full compliance with New York law governing media coverage of court proceedings, and the court is duty-bound to safeguard the integrity of these proceedings. The court has been made aware that the defendant may enter a guilty plea here today, which was probably the worst-kept secret in this building in the last couple of days. Under applicable law and rules, audiovisual coverage, including video recording and still photography, is prohibited during portions of the proceeding in which a sworn testimony is taken. Relevant to here, a defendant's plea allocution constitutes testimonial evidence.
All right, so we're going to have Rex Sherman here. But look at you guys. We got a 5-for-5 challenge in here. Can we try to get reach that one? So Phyllis Watson will gift 5 memberships all by herself if just 5 individual people donate 1. All right? That'd be great. Thank you.
As it involves sworn statements made by a defendant admitting to the facts underlying the charges.
Thanks, Phyllis.
Accordingly, the court will permit limited media access as follows. 1 pool video camera news from News 12, 1 pool
That's
still
not a
photographer from Newsday will be allowed to record and photograph the proceedings up to, but not including, the commencement of the defendant's plea allocution. At the point where the defendant is sworn and begins allocuting the charges, all audio-visual coverage must cease, and the court will direct the court officers to escort the 2 camera persons out of the well. The court is conference.
All right, hold on a second. See, right here it says, you cannot specifically block only iPhone users from buying YouTube memberships while allowing other devices. That's just not a thing. Okay, it's not a... that's not a thing. I'm sorry. You've been duped. All right.
This matter with counsels to both parties and with representatives of the 2 press agencies as to the limited scope of coverage of this
All
proceeding.
right. So anyways, after all these years, we covered the Gilgo Beach case back, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And but back then nobody knew who the killer was. And then eventually Rex Sherman was arrested. I remember the belt and all these different things. And he was arrested, and then he was charged with 4 people, then 5, then 6, and 7. And then they just added another one, Vergata, yesterday, who's always been considered likely one of his victims. And she was back in like 1996. And so she's also been added. But also, if Sandy Shirley's still out there, I want to, thank you for, she explained what happened. And she stood up for me against these morons out there. I just don't want any of you guys even bothering answering their questions. These people are crazy people, okay? So sorry for my rant there. It just is what it is. But when you sit there and say, oh, I was having a conversation with this side and this person and this person and this one, and they're all just douchebags. They're just shit people. So don't bother wasting your time with the trolls. They're not trying to help anybody. What they're trying to do is try to find some suckers that'll believe in them and then spread hate. That's what they do. All right, thanks, Joel Burnt, Betty Black, and Jim Long. We need 2 more, you guys. 2 more.
Both counsels, is this your understanding, first of all, yes?
It is. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and do you have any objections to what I've just said?
We don't take a position. We don't take a position either, Your Honor. Thank you.
Both camera persons, Mr. Ryan and Mr. Carbone, have been expressly advised that they are under order of the court to immediately disseminate the videos and photographs that are obtained herein to any and all members of accredited media agencies upon their request. Like any other case, no one else here or in the overflow courtroom is permitted to film, tape, audio record, photograph, or otherwise record today's proceedings. This determination reflects the court's effort to balance the public's right of access with the legal requirement prohibiting coverage of testimonial proceedings, as well as the need to preserve the fairness,
And this is on Court TV.
dignity, and orderly administration of justice. All right, gentlemen, I understand that circumstances have changed in this case.
That's correct, Your Honor.
People?
Your Honor, it is the understanding of the District Attorney's Office that the defendant will plead guilty to 7 counts in the indictment, specifically counts 1 through 3 and counts 7 through 10.
Well, what about number 8? Hey, you guys, we need 2 more gifted channel memberships. We do need something like that, Betty Black. I mean, we're so far behind now. It's just...
Counts 4.
I don't think so. Should we bring the defendant out, please?
Bring the defendant out now.
That's a very good idea. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Usually helps to have a defendant.
But we can't even get 2. All right, so here's what we need, you guys. Look at that. Whoa! Marty's just did a $50 coffee for 10. So now we just need 1 more to get rid of, not get rid of it, finish Phyllis's, get rid of that challenge, and then we move on to another challenge. All right, but this is how we can make it up in here. All right, so we got Phyllis, who did a generous 5 for $5. And we just need one more gifted membership. Looks like Skeeter did that, so boom. That one's Phyllis Watson. Thank you, Phyllis. And Phyllis is one of the people that helps out a lot over here when when she's able to or whatever. And we're just kind of, I'm grateful for the people who can help support the channel. I don't get the viewers, I'm not in the algorithm for this case for some reason. I'm just not. Doesn't matter how many videos I put out. There will be other cases where all of a sudden I'm one of the main people that people watch, and this isn't one of them. So I'm relying on the people watching the channel to help support it, and that would be awesome if you could. So now we're on a new one because Phyllis just did that, and the next one is we need 10 gifted memberships, and then Marty's Bar and Grill will match all of those. All right. And it doesn't have to be a membership. It can be super chats of $5 denominations. All right.
Did you want to look up first? Just do the paperwork.
You can uncuff them first and then let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
When you need them uncuffed, just let me know.
Sorry?
When you need them uncuffed, just let me know.
Okay. Coming out, Judge.
Here he comes. Here comes Rex Huerman, the nut job. Look at that beautiful haircut he's got, huh?
On the record with number 8, Reck Huerman, part of our guarantee.
Looks like he just got a pair of scissors and cut over there.
Waive this first, okay? For the defendant, Michael Brown, 320 Carlton Avenue, Central City, New York. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, Mr. Brown. As I was beginning to say, it is the understanding of the District Attorney's Office that the defendant will plead guilty to 7 counts in the indictment, specifically counts 1 through 3 and counts 7 through 10. Counts 4 through 6 will be dismissed in satisfaction of...
Hey, are you out there, Phyllis Watson? I didn't see you after that, but I want to say thank you very much.
At the time of the defendant's sentencing. In addition to allocuting to and admitting his factual guilt to all elements of counts 1 through 3 and 7 through 10 of the indictment, the defendant further agrees that although he has not been charged with this crime, he will admit as part of his plea that he intentionally caused the death of Karen Brigada and transported and left her remains in Suffolk County in 1996. The District Attorney's Office agrees that in exchange for the defendant pleading guilty to counts 1 through 3 and counts 7 through 10 of the indictment and admitting to the uncharged murder of Karen Brigada, the District Attorney's Office recommends the following sentence. Counts 1 through 3, murder in the first degree, the maximum sentence of life imprisonment without parole to run consecutive to each other. Counts 7 through 10, the maximum sentence of 25 years to life imprisonment to run consecutive to one another, and with the sentences on counts 1 through 3. To summarize the foregoing sentence, the defendant agrees to serve 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole regarding counts 1 through 3, followed by 4 consecutive sentences of 25 years imprisonment to life to run consecutive to one another. Should the defendant allocute to the murder of Karen Brigada, the defendant's guilty plea and this plea agreement will satisfy and cover the uncharged homicide of Karen Brigada. In exchange for all of the above pleas, there will be no further prosecutions pertaining to the murders of the aforementioned 8 victims: Karen Brigada, Valerie Mack, Jessica Taylor, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. The defendant will acknowledge both orally and in writing that he has received voluminous and sufficient...
I think he's killed way more people. But hey, guys, we're trying to get the... Oh, look at that. Phyllis did 5 of the next 10. Man, you're so kind. So we just need 5 more gifted memberships to match Marty's Bar and Grill.
...discovery to make an informed decision regarding his plea here today. The defendant will further waive any objections to the District Attorney's compliance with Article 245 of the Criminal Procedure Law. The defendant has also agreed to withdraw all motions currently pending before this court. As set forth in the written waiver of right to appeal, the defendant agrees to waive his right to appeal, which includes the court's prior hearing determination as well as any claim that the sentence imposed by this court is excessive. The defendant further acknowledges that he's been fully apprised by his attorneys of the rights and privileges that he is waiving, and that his waiver is being agreed to knowingly and voluntarily and made for the purpose of receiving the benefit of not being charged with the murder of Karen Vergata or any other charges related to the deaths of Maureen Braden Barnes, Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, Amber Costello, Valerie Mack, Jessica Taylor, and Sandra Castilla. Finally, counts 4, 5, and 6 will be dismissed in satisfaction at the time of sentencing. And I believed in the beginning, with regard to the 8 victims, I inadvertently left out Sandra Castilla.
Mr. Brown?
Judge, can he be uncuffed for a moment just to sign certain documents?
Sarge?
Yes,
Thank
Judge.
All right, Reck.
I think Rex Sherman's killed, I bet there's like 30 people. I mean, they just happened to stumble upon one of his areas that he buried people.
So we're going to sign this.
I mean, I guess it's possible he's only done like 12 or, you know. He's got him on 8.
I'm going to sign right here, please. This is the...
Amber Costello, 4, 5 in
Did
the
he
beginning.
reply? Or?
Judge, can he be uncuffed for a moment just to sign certain documents?
Sarge?
Yes,
Thank
Judge.
you. All right, Rex, so we're going to sign this.
What a beast.
I'm going to sign right here, please. This is the...
It's got to be long to get past. That's where to get down to where it's supposed to be. If it was 2 inches shorter, we'd all be laughing about how short it was. And he's like 6'5" or something. 6'6".
Thank you. Okay.
Good.
That's it, thank you. Judge, that's our understanding, and we join the application.
Thank you. Mr. Human, before I swear you in, the allocution is taken. I have some questions to ask of you. They're obvious and simple questions, but I have to ask them, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
How old are you?
62.
Do you read and write English?
Yes.
Have you discussed this case with your attorney?
Yes, I have.
Have you had enough time to discuss this case with your attorney?
Yes, I have.
After discussions with your lawyer, you feel it's in your best interest to plead guilty rather than go to trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the manner in which your attorneys represented you in this case?
Yes, I am.
I must say that the attorneys on both sides of this case have been excellent, unbelievable lawyers. Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a charge, that is the same as if you had gone to trial and been found guilty of that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're waiving a number of very important rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now these rights include your right to a trial by jury or by the court, your right to have the prosecution produce evidence and witnesses to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, your right to cross-examine those witnesses, and your right to testify on your own behalf or to remain silent, your right to call witnesses or submit evidence on your behalf. Do you understand those rights as I've just explained them?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up those rights?
Yes, I do.
All right, now a defendant ordinarily retains the right to appeal even after pleading guilty. In this case, however, as
All right, guys, as you can see, we still need 5 more gifted memberships up there to reach Marty's challenge that he put in there. Can you guys please help support the channel? I just explained to you how we're way behind now after what just happened the other day. So if you guys could please do that, get us back to at least, you know, heading back to even, that would be great. Thanks.
a condition of the plea agreement, you are asked to waive your right to appeal. An appeal is a proceeding before another court, and if a defendant cannot afford the cost of an appeal or of a lawyer, the state will bear those costs. On an appeal, the defendant may, normally through his or her lawyer, argue that an error took place in this court, which required a modification or a reversal of the conviction. A reversal would require either new proceedings in this court or a dismissal. By waiving your right to appeal, you do not give up your right to take an appeal. But if you take an appeal, you are by this plea, and now separately by this waiver of the right to appeal, giving up the right to have the appellate court consider most claims of error, including, for example, rulings on evidence, discovery, suppression, and any pretrial motions, and whether this sentence is harsh or excessive and should be modified. You understand that?
Yes, I
Have your
do.
attorneys explained this to you?
Yes, he
And
has.
Mr. Brown, may I ask you at this point, are you, with respect to the motion pending,
We're going to withdraw that motion.
application granted,
Thank you.
are you willing to waive your right to appeal in this case in return for the plea and sentence agreement?
Yes.
Do you waive your right to appeal voluntarily of your own free will?
Yes, I do.
Are you entering this plea bargain voluntarily of your own free will?
Yes, I am.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you into pleading guilty?
No.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol right now?
No.
Are you under the influence of any substance which has impaired your ability to think clearly or understand what's going on here today?
No.
You understand that by pleading guilty, you're waiving any defenses you may have to this case?
Yes, I do.
Now, do you understand, again, an obvious question, but I have to ask it, do you understand that as a result of this plea and sentence, you will be convicted of a felony and that such conviction will result in an enhanced sentence if you are convicted of a felony in the future? Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right. Mr. Brown, again, another silly question, but have you received a sufficient amount of discovery in this matter?
We certainly have to.
People, have you provided that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, my promise is to sentence you in a manner that's conditional. At the time of your sentencing, I will be provided with a pre-sentence report and perhaps additional information about you and your alleged involvement in this matter. If after reviewing all the relevant information, I learned something which tells me that I cannot in good conscience keep my promise, I shall permit you to withdraw your plea of guilty, reinstate your plea of not guilty, and the case will proceed to trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Additionally, my promise is also conditional on the following things. You must cooperate with the probation department. You must not be arrested for any offense in this or any other jurisdiction. Finally, you must appear on the date I set for sentencing or any adjourned date. If you fail to abide by any of these conditions, I will not be bound by my sentencing promise to you, and you will not be permitted to withdraw your guilty plea. Further, I will be at liberty to sentence you to any appropriate sentence, including the maximum sentence allowed by law. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Now, other than the promise that was placed on the record by the people, has anyone, myself, your lawyer, the prosecutor, or anyone else made any promises to you in return for your plea of guilty?
The only thing I want to interject, Judge, Mr. Tierney has indicated in exchange for the pleas that we're going to enter into this morning, there'll be no further prosecutions on the 8 victims that he's referenced. He is also, my client is also obligated to completely, truthfully, and fairly cooperate with the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Behavioral Analysis Unit as part of what we've just discussed.
He's going to be one of
Any
those
other
guys.
promises
huh?
made to you?
Other than what I've just said.
No.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily and of your own free will?
Yes.
All right, we're going to swear in the defendant now. Remove.
So there we go. That was it, basically. Yeah, look what Marty just said. The best way to get back at those loser trolls is to make Gray's site stronger by helping him gain with members. So if you guys could please try to reach the goals that we've set in here, because you guys know what we do in here at the end of the month. We've had just, I don't know, man. It just seems like it goes in one ear and out the other. You guys aren't really into it or something. I mean, it's just bizarre. We have a challenge by Marty up there where he'll send in $50 of coffees if we get 4 more gifted memberships, etc. Okay? It's like a no-brainer. So if you have the ability to, that would be great. Thank you. I just don't understand it just used to be so different where people are like, okay, let's go, let's do it. So if you're just new here, this is the reality right here. Look at. So since January of 2020, in 2020, the channel gifted $22,000 as charity, right? Then in 2021, we did $42,500. That's right out of the income. So like out of all the income that comes in with the ad revenue, the super chats, etc., $42,500. Then 2022, this is right in the middle of the pandemic, all this, $62,250. Then in 2023, we did $57,350. Then in 2024, $49,811. Then this last year, we did $46,201. And currently this year, we're at $12,000 on a pace for $48,000 if we were to keep going. But it seems like we're just, every single night, it's a struggle over and over again. So if you have the ability to help support the channel, I could use your support, especially after, getting crushed. We lost a lot of money for this channel. I mean, the thing is that's a whole day of shows, that amount, or about 60% of a show. All right, so I don't know what to tell you guys. My channel relies on you. Thank you, Jim Lon. Very cool. Thank you very much. There we go. We finally got it. Man, it's just like pulling teeth. All right, so here we go, you guys. We're going to just talk about the same stuff that I was on the show earlier talking about. And thanks, Jim Lawn. Really appreciate that. Very kind. Very cool. And we have, right now we have 0 in super chats. We do have a lot of memberships, though. Let's see. And here's the thing, everybody. The trolls that attack the channel, the ones that try to get a hold of Sandy, they've spent all of their time trying to, they come in here and attack and attack and attack, and then they get to some people, then those people, they've systematically tried to harm my channel's ability to financially survive, and that's all they've been doing, okay? And that's why it's harder and harder and harder on a nightly basis for my channel to do better. And they always blame, oh, it's your personality, Gray, it's your personality, and that's just complete bullshit. You guys come in here, you create an environment that fosters that type of mentality, and then, of course, yes, it's like that. If you just leave me the hell alone, and the channel will do just fine, okay? So frustrating. It's I like my personality. Just ask Marcia. Yeah. Well, thank Jim, Marty. He did it. And thanks Randizzle Randy for one outside of that. Oh yeah, this is where I can draw around. See that? Let's see. All right, so yeah, I get this guy that just keeps messaging me over and over and over and over and over and again about like other possible routes. There's a million different routes. The guy could have taken a parachute, a paraglider thing, and flown under the roof. That's a possibility, yeah. He could have came in from over here like this. He could have came in from over here like this. He like right here. Watch. You can go like this. Watch how many different ways he could have got there, you guys. I'll show you right here. He could have came in like this, 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 this. He could have came in like this, like it's like a waste of time to sit there and kind of just keep talking about like these other random ways, It's like, what seems to be the most likely? Hey, thank you very much, Terry Crabtree. Well, I'm glad you like my shows. I mean, I know tonight I'm just telling you what I'm telling you because, these people in the last week or two have just been absolutely relentless trying to harm my channel. And, it's actually illegal because it's false information that they put out there. They don't they don't think that. Actually, I know that they know that. That's the thing. I know that they do this intentionally because even when you clear it up, they just keep going. They're relentless. Yeah. So let's just go using this over here. See, I have it where he's parked right there. And then maybe we could say that so like right over here he's parked. And then he walks over here like this. Goes inside the house. Goes inside that little archway. And then removes the camera. But we know that he walks in from the side. And like I was saying on Jennifer's show is Coffin Daffer. That he comes in from over here. He comes in like this. So maybe he was just looking in this window over here. Don't really know. Then he goes inside. He removes the camera, knowing that he's going to be parking right there. So he needs to remove it. And then he takes off for a while. Maybe goes back to that car, or maybe he just kind of goes back over into, back behind the house and waits. And there's a person in a car right over here. And then he gets the radio after he goes inside the house. So after he goes around, hops over the fence, goes inside the home, and then over to Nancy's room, which is over there. Let me zoom in a little bit here. If I go like this. So let's say he comes back on his own, really. You can just walk back over. He's waited. Nobody's showing up. So then he goes around the house. You know, it's possible he went like this and then hopped over that fence, because Nancy's room ends right here, basically. Yeah, I mean, it might go out a little bit further like this. But her room is right there. You know, and then I don't know what this is over here, another bedroom, maybe 2 bedrooms. But she, that's where her room is. So the person could have came over and then went there and avoided making too much noise right outside of her window. Then hopped over a fence and then went through this fence right there, set off this alarm or this camera at 2:12, not an alarm. And then perhaps right at that moment, props open the gate, then goes right back over here. It's still recording. It's just one, you know, like, well, it didn't record really. It sensed a motion. See, I don't really understand that part, you know. Is it that they couldn't find the video associated with it when they said, oh, it recorded? So it does have a rolling 3 hours. So maybe once it's deleted, they can just tell, oh, yeah, well, at this time there was a human detected on camera because there was a notification sent, but it didn't record. We can't get to the video now because it's past that 3 hours. So anyways, he goes inside the door over here, and where they, you know, where they played, here, I'll just even zoom in more here. So I was just looking at it straight at the house. Thanks, Lizzie Robb. G'day, mate. No? Yeah, I tried. Okay. So with it out here, let's just look over there. So there's the window. So her bed, end of her bed was not too far past that window. So we could actually probably draw right there, and then her bed is like right in this location, like this. And, you know, we don't know, you know, was this here? I mean, you come in a door there, there's probably a hallway back here, I guessed, on one of my shows. But that's probably where her bed is, right there. And then maybe there's an end table. So the person, they came in through just like this, and where they played mahjong, that table that we've seen in pictures, that's right here. It's right there. And then, well, it could be a little bit more to the left, and then there's a garage door right there that goes out to the garage. So, you know, maybe the person came in and then he had to sort of work his way over, you know, maybe somewhere up in there, and then gets, you know, I don't know exactly how it's shaped. I know this is a living room here with a wall, so he had to have gone back into here. You know, it's getting kind of messy now. But he had to be going back up into this area to get to her room. And then to get her out of there, it's sort of interesting. You know, so the door to her room, I think, is over here. You know, something like that. Or, you know, it could even be up here. Let me try to draw, like, let's just try to picture. So let's say that's her, where her head is behind the bed, that wall there. And then maybe there's like a little hallway or something. Because I know that when you look at it, there's a kitchen over here, and then a door that goes out to the back, but then you see that it can go around like that. So it's almost like there's, you know, maybe the door to her room is up here. You know, like right there, let's say. And then you go into her room, and then if you got her out of there, you'd have to come back out this way, and then sort of through the living room area, which leads right to the front door over here, you know. Something like that. Thank you, Daniel Gosen, or Gosen. Daniel Gosen. It sounds biblical. I actually have, let me open up this Photoshop here. How do you guys think I thought it went pretty good on with Coffin Daffer, you know? I think what she said at the end is pretty good, just about maybe trying to get along better with all the different YouTubers and so forth, you know? Okay, so this is the map so far that I think exists. And that's the front door over there. Right there. Front door, and then here's where their mahjong table was. There's a window right there behind it. Right in that little cove. There's a window. Mahjong table. And then over here, I remember looking at it. You see it, and then there's like a wall. Maybe we need to go look at those pictures again. But her bedroom is right over here. So if I was to add more to this, let's just draw on the screen. It's like that's where her bedroom is. And then there's a bed right here. Oops. That's pretty ugly. But anyways, you know, right there. There's where the bed is. And then there's a slider that goes out to the deck. And then could her door could be over here or over on the side. But either way, you know, you have to get out. And look how, that's 9 feet 8 inches, just that little distance right there. So this has got to be 20 feet just to right there, and then 30, 40. You know, you're about 45, 50 feet from her bed to the front door. So her pacemaker stopped connecting to the unit at 228, but she could have easily still been in the house. I mean, even if you're like right over in this area, it would disconnect because you're over, you know, at least past the 30-foot mark. It could even disconnect at 10 feet. But certainly it disconnected. 228 is like, okay, could it be right when she got put in the car? Sure. I mean, so the thing is that 228 is the time frame when she was removed from the home, right? So she was removed from the home around that time frame. And then 212 is the time frame where somebody came into the backyard that's starting the process of going inside the house. Right? You guys agree with that? All right, who's doing the next challenge, you guys? We have to have a decent night. We've already frozen up again. Just call it massive lull. Let's see. Yeah, like I was saying on that show, I've said it on here too. He's coming in from the left. You know, what does that mean? I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It means that he's coming in from the left. It could have meant that he walked straight ahead over here and then just turned left, right, and then from his perspective, turn left and then right. You know, we don't know where he was. We can't make up a whole story and say, oh, he was over by the garage, you know, and he did this and he did that. We don't know at all. As a matter of fact, like my whole story when I say that he was, you know, I have him coming in from over here, right? Well, I don't know that for certain. I mean, maybe a car was parked over there, but he may have just been standing over here somewhere, waiting to see if law enforcement showed up. And when it didn't show up, he walked over like this and then came around and then went inside the front there, and then he'd be coming from that direction. That's how, you know, it could be that. All right, you guys, how do we get things rolling along again? Just, it's so difficult these days. It's unreal. Let's see. Yeah, so like what I was showing on there is here is a, that there's a light right there with a solar panel. And so the only spots, if we were just to kind of zoom in over here like this, and then we could say that right here and right there are the cameras, and then there's another one inside right there at the door. And so this camera can see probably like this all the way out like that. So I could see this whole area, I would think, unless you're sort of hidden. And then this one could see probably like that to like this. So that's why this camera could see over by the pool, the yard, etc. This could see all the way down over here. And then this one only can see through the front gate, the front there. The part of the house that's wasn't covered at all is this whole area right here. Right inside this area right there, all in there, was uncovered by cameras. Are you guys even here? There's just nobody commenting again. This might be a short show. A real short one. Because Marty said makes sense, and then Allie Cake made her comment like 10 minutes ago. or 3 minutes ago, with not one other comment after that. Hello? Anybody there? Jesus. And I don't know. I mean, what do you guys want? What angle of this case you guys want to talk about? I'm just sort of in a place where you guys seem disinterested. So what place? What do you want to talk about? Right. Watching draw lines. Right. Yeah, people comment all the time, even when people are. Hey, look how nice Marty is. He's doing another one, you guys. He's doing a challenge. Right up your asses, trolls. He's going to do a $50 worth of coffee if you guys only do 5. So that means that if just 5 gifted memberships, he's going to double all of those. All right? Thank you. Yeah, so I guess the ransom note portion is always interesting. We've talked about the different angles, like I'm doing this tonight because I just did a show on it. I figured you guys would be still interested in talking about it. We have, the first 2 there was 1 ransom note on the second. So that was something that on the show, I just said the first one was on the second. The first one by TMZ was on the 3rd, because they got it the next day. But I think it was the same letter as the first one. And so on the first, and then there was another one that came out that was, that's the one that prompted Savannah to sound a little bit more ominous. Hey, thanks, Suzf. All right, we need 4 more. It sounded more ominous, and then so that's when she started saying, "We just want her body back. We'll pay for that so we can have peace." And then all of a sudden there was this other guy that started sending wanting crypto information, saying that he saw her in Mexico. That was a while ago. He said he saw her in Mexico. He knows the people who took her, etc. And then he just sort of disappeared for a while and didn't hear back. And then all of a sudden he started messaging again lately. So like he stopped communicating for, God, weeks. And then he started communicating again with the same crypto number, trying to get some money. He's looking for half of a Bitcoin. And I think they should actually do that. I think that they should pay the $35,000, even if it doesn't lead to a damn thing. What difference does it make at this point? You know? I sounded like Hillary Clinton right there. But what difference does it make if you give the $35,000, it doesn't lead anything? It's just like 2 or 3 days worth of your investigation money. It's ridiculous. But it could lead to something. You know? It could have an answer in it. I would actually, it's weird because a person keeps emailing, and for some reason that doesn't lead to them knowing who it was. So it must be like encrypted or sent a certain way each time. And thanks again, Phyllis Watson. And so they aren't able to track where that email came from. So maybe, that's an issue there. It's weird because it's the FBI, for God's sakes, and somehow they can't track the email that came in, and then they also don't believe that they can track crypto after you send him the money and he gets it. They don't think that they can do it. I guess they weren't able to, I don't know. They didn't really try it with the first two, though. They never gave him anything to open or look at. Yeah, anyone can do the challenges. You just say, hey, everybody, if you guys send in 5, I'll do 5. Something like that. Yeah, that's all you do, says F, is just say, hey, you guys, if you guys do 5 memberships, I'll do 5, or, something like that. But right now we're still trying to work on Marty's. We need 3 more of those. In today's age, it's hard to believe. I know, that's what I was saying. I just think it's incredibly... Like, this is an interesting case. I wish they would give us more information, but it's an interesting case regardless of Savannah Guthrie. As a matter of fact, I'm not a big fan of Savannah Guthrie or anything at all. Never really watched her show. That's not, I guess that's why it became something we heard about. But had we just heard about it randomly, I'd still be thinking it was interesting. That's the thing. It's crazy. You have somebody that is, 84 years old, who does have people that work around the house, etc. She goes over to her daughter Annie's house and her husband Tommaso. And, around 5, I got the numbers right here. I was going to say, yeah. 5:32. And then they're hanging out, doing their thing. And then at 9:48, Tommaso drives Nancy home. The garage door opens. They know this electronically somehow. Is that a motion recorded on that same camera that's facing the garage door? Or... is it part? I don't think that is. I think they would have actually said a motion sensor went off at 9:48, and we believe that's when the garage door opened. Then it also went off again. They didn't say that. So I think it's just some sort of digital mechanism where, let me get rid of my face. You guys, we need 3 more gifted memberships in there. It's hard to, I just feel like it's strange that it's so hard to get these little tiny goals here. All right, then, so at 9:48, some sort of digital device detects the garage door opening. So just kind of picture in your head how this is all going down. You know what Nancy looks like. The garage door opens. She's probably being walked over to the door that goes inside the house from inside the garage. And then the door opens, she goes in. She shuts it behind. And then, whoever it was, Annie or Tommaso, walk back over to the vehicle. And then just before leaving the garage, presses the button inside. The garage door shuts at 9:50. Then they take off. Then Annie goes into the house. Not Annie. Nancy goes into the house, does whatever she's doing, maybe she goes quickly, at that point, walks in. She's kind of going to start getting ready for bed, takes a shower, does whatever she does. Then maybe by like 10:30 or so, gets into bed, puts her phone next to the bed or watch, charging him, and, maybe watches TV, who knows, maybe 11 o'clock, goes to sleep, and she's just sleeping. And her heart monitor is recording, on the internal device there. And then, let's see, so it'd be like 11 o'clock, so that means 2 hours and 47 minutes later, when you're just completely asleep, somebody comes to the front door, but she's asleep, and then sets off the motion sensor and maybe even an alert, but she can barely hear. So probably when she goes to sleep, she probably doesn't have her hearing aids or whatever. And maybe she didn't hear it or anything. And the person who went to the front door, so, we could look at it like, while she's sleeping, this person's over here, 11:47-ish. All right. And then they remove the camera off the front door. And she's still sleeping in there for another, like, 35, 40 minutes. And these people, after removing the camera, wait for a while to see if law enforcement or anybody else might show up to check on her after the motion sensors, but they didn't. So then this person goes into the house, in the back of it, and, if he's just a sole, I'm just going to do it. There's only evidence that there's one person here. There could be two. I doubt there. I think there's almost no chance there's three people. But I think there could be a driver, but he's by himself. Then he goes over the back fence. He's detected on a motion sensor. Goes into the backyard. Somehow he gets into the backyard. And that's right around 2:12, in my opinion. And that's what sets off the motion sensor that picks up the motion of a person. And we know it's in the backyard because the sheriff said that it picked up the motion of a person. Well, it could have been an animal. Hey, there you go. Look at that. Coco Love, who also supported the channel earlier, too. So thank you so much. Just reached that goal. All right, so if you want to do one, says F, here's the time. All right. Yeah, so he goes into the backyard, over the wall, sets off the motion sensor at 2:12, and then he goes inside the house, and then maybe there was just, he goes into the room, maybe he gets into the house, but he's going kind of slowly. He's got to prop open those doors, and he's doing it kind of quietly. You could also say that maybe he went into the room, tied her up, or, got her sort of tied up somehow first. Then he went out and opened those doors just in case somebody showed up. I mean, I don't know. It seems more likely you would do it first, like you would prop open the door, the gate. The gate being propped open is something that has sort of a red herring feel to it, but because you have to make it kind of work. But I don't know. But anyways, gets into the house, let's just say, after setting 2:12, gets in there 2:13, 14, 16, by maybe 2:16, finds Nancy's room. And then whatever happens in there, it's like 10 or 12 minutes of stuff. We don't know what's going on. And then they, right around like 2:27, they start removing her from the house, bringing your, so like at 228, her pacemaker is then completely stopped recording. And then we have, I'm not recording, it stopped, her pacemaker stopped connecting to the base inside the house that records the Bluetooth and the heart monitor. I think her cell phone is just sort of like an app that, you can look at to see how things are going, but the internal unit, I think, has its own deal that it sends information back to the doctor, and it also has a connection to the pacemaker itself in your body, so that's why you got to be within like 10 feet of it. The cell phone, I don't think, has anything to do with, it doesn't extend the distance as I originally thought. Let's see. Yeah, anyways, thank you so much there for you guys for reaching that challenge by Marty. Yeah, and then then we've seen these pictures. Let me back out a little bit. Like this one's pretty good. So inside of there's apparently droplets that match kind of what these droplets look like. I think it's weird when people say they don't see any like voids. I mean, that's all I see. There's like, look at this huge gap right in there. And then over here and over there, it's all over the place. And then you see this right here. Now, there's some people out there that claim that is satellite blood. Like for each one of those droplets, like when these droplets hit, smaller particles of blood will generally fly out. But I mean, that's not what this is. Okay, that's not what this is. There's just too much concentration of a fine mist there. Another thing that I think is interesting, like that's a pretty clear shot there, is look at all this misting over here. There's no way these small droplets are shooting way over there, and then there's nothing over here. So there's a directionality to this expirated blood here that is slightly, sort of like, all it means is if your head is tilted slightly to the left looking down right here, it would put more of the fine particles over there and pretty much not put any over here. And so, why didn't this blood, when it hit the ground, create all those same little dots? Or it just isn't going to be the case. If it turns out that that's satellite blood, I'll be shocked out of my mind. This just doesn't make sense. Just looking at that itself, it seems like it's a concentrated, fine particle within like 2 or 3, like a 3. Well, let's see if that's 10. It's probably like 2.5, 3 inches. Really concentrated right there. So that means she was probably still alive when she was brought out of the house. I know. I agree, Phyllis. I would have got in there. I would have probably used my GoPro, but probably the 360-degree camera, 8K, and just put it in low, right next to it. You could see everything. This was so important for the sleuthers to get a really good shot of this, and they just didn't get it. Like right in there, it's pretty clear. It's clearer. See, there you go. I mean, that one's better. But don't you guys see what I'm saying here, though? Like, why is there misting that goes way over there, but over here there's nothing? So, like, if this was creating satellite, then you should see all over here the same amount of dots and everything. It doesn't. It kind of goes in that direction. I guess what I'm saying, if I was to draw on it, would be the misting. There's a whole bunch of like over here, ding, 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 all kind of going around like that, and then it's really dense in here and stuff. And then there's some over here, I'm just kind of generally, but there's nothing over here. But see, then it keeps going way up into there, but this is where the main stuff is, right? So that means the direction is a little bit not like that. All right. I have thought of going there, but that's not there anymore, so it doesn't, that part doesn't matter. I'm just not sure. Like, if I went there, I could fly I'd probably bring my drone around. I just actually ended up getting one of those A1 something 368K drone where it does 360-degree video only, and it wipes out the entire drone itself is not in the shot. So I think that'd be cool. But hey, guys, we needed another challenge going. So if somebody could do that, that would be fantastic. Like I just explained to you the predicament we're in earlier, to very little, like interest in trying to get that sort of recovered. But so if you guys could please help support the channel, that would be fantastic. Having another challenge would be a good way to do it. All right. Anyways, got right there. Yeah, somebody did point that out. That does kind of look almost like a possible shoe print or something, like a portion of a shoe. Maybe the back end of it is like the heel hitting. I don't know, because there's a drop there and there. I don't really know what that is, but it does. It looks like there's a shape to it. Yeah, I would like to. I was thinking these tiles were. I thought originally that was a foot, but I think they're only 10 inches. I can't tell for certain though. I just think it is because of, like I was saying on Coffin Daffer's show, is these doors are like usually 36 to 42. And then there's 10, 20, 36, 36, and then you could even add 37, 38-ish over there. So you're getting kind of wide, but maybe this is an extra one. If it's like 42 inches, then it'd be 36, and then you're getting close to 42 on there. So they could be a foot, but they're not actually a foot. Yeah, well, that's about how the only way to be able to do it there, Phyllis, is if people are supporting the channel. But you notice how when I say, hey, guys, we need to try, it just deaf ears, So it's got to be one of you guys that just comes up with doing it. Doesn't seem to have an effect on anybody in the chat. So I'm just trying to reach the goals, you guys. And then we have this image here. That's something I was going to bring up on with Coffin Daffer, was that see this image here, people think this was like on the 11th or maybe the 24th, who knows. But I was thinking that maybe this camera back here, what's going on? Oh yeah, this camera back here picked up motions on those dates. So you remember how we got the 212? Let me know what you guys think of this right here. So you know how we have at 212, we have this motion picked up. Yeah. So, it's a business expense. I mean, I get these things to use them. I haven't even opened it up yet. I got a good deal on it, though. There was a sale, so I just was like, okay, I got to do it. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, you guys. you have to wear goggles to fly it. I think they should have an option where you don't need to do that, but that makes it a little less, like you got to have somebody sitting around watching. Thank you, Shelky. All right, but anyways, you know how at 212 it picks up the motion of a person? Well, what if this same camera right here picked up motions on those other nights? Is kind of creepy, right? Let's just say on the 11th, they have a motion picked up a human in the backyard at like 1:15 on the 11th. And then on the 24th, it picked up a person in that backyard at like, 2:30. And they're thinking, well, shit, maybe this guy was around. So check your cameras on those days too. That would be a pretty interesting way that they could figure out that the person had been stalking the home and even entering the yard, planning and prepping for what they were going to do later. So who knows? Who knows? Who is? We think that way. I work for Betsy Ross at 2:30. Who's talking to you? Richard, what's going on, buddy? Oh, yeah, they're just goofing around with you, Richard. They're just goofing around up there. That's funny. Yeah. Well, I mean, we see him on that one camera. And maybe that's the 11th. But I was just wondering if maybe the camera picked him up in the backyard too. Or, was it just that one? I mean, by the way, do you need to have the camera with you to know that a motion was detected? Do you need to have the physical camera to look in it? Because wouldn't the front door have also detected a motion at 1:46? And then the guy's over there he grabs the plant and everything. They know it disconnected at 1:48, but didn't it pick up a motion? The motion that recorded the video that we saw, did the camera pick up the motion? Or did they just not mention that for some reason? I guess they've said that the video that they recovered, they don't know the exact time that was filmed. So maybe they're letting us know that it was disconnected at 1:47. They have that footage, and they're just like, okay, well, it's probably really close to that time frame. The guy's ready to go. He's got the backpack, the balaclava. He's trying to manipulate that very same camera that we can't find that disconnects at 1:47, right? Or is it 1? Yeah, 1:47. So it's 13, and so that means 25 minutes later, software detects person on camera. And that's when he said, I mean, was it a person? That's what it says. Could have been an animal? I mean, not likely, but okay. Well, right. But it's also zero chance if it was in the house, right? So, obviously you said that because it was an outdoor camera, and that's why the FBI agent looked at you like, man, what the hell are you doing? You just let him know it was an outdoor camera. And then 2:28, the pacemaker app shows it disconnects from the phone. Then 11, and then look how many hours went by. So you're looking at, let's just pretend that's 3 and that's 12. So 9.5 hours later, that's when people showed up. But guess what? Remember I was telling you that it's a 3-hour rolling video. That's all you get to watch. And it's not 3 hours of video. It's 3 hours of time. Whether or not there's a video in there or not, it just keeps rolling by. So you could have 10 seconds of video at 1, a minute, whatever. Let's say a minute at 1, and then another 2 minutes at 2 o'clock, and then that first one is on there for 3 hours, and then I guess it's already on there for 2 hours once the motion records at 2, but it just slides across, so you just kind of look at it like a, I tried to explain it, but here's a 3-hour window, and it just keeps moving like this. So if you have a video recorded here, and as this is moving up, that video's gone now. It's been deleted. That one's gone. Oh, boy. Yeah, if we can get like one more challenge in here, we could just, if I combine it with earlier, it'd be just sort of the minimum goal level. So we need one more challenge by somebody to get there. And then 11:56, family checks on Nancy, and then literally 7 minutes later they call 911. So that sort of debunks the, wow, why'd they wait so long? They didn't. And then 12:15, patrol arrives. So that's interesting, right? Like the 12 minutes there, it kind of makes you wonder if they already knew of the time frame that it might take. Maybe they did something intentionally where law enforcement showed up. I'm wondering if that's something they've looked into. Like, I mean, it seems kind of obvious, I guess, but like other calls that they showed up to something, but there was nothing there. And that could have been this person timing and testing how long it takes generally for law enforcement to show up to this general area. And so it took 12 minutes here. So they probably said, okay, if we wait 20, that's probably long enough to, make sure nobody was coming by. Oh, yeah. Well, thanks, Cliff. Thanks for the nice words. Yeah, like somebody was emailing me that maybe the person walked back here, and from there you could just kind of avoid the camera and go around like this and then over the wall. But it's kind of like, I mean, we could just sit there all day and do that, right? The guy could have parked over there and walked across this area quietly and made his way over here and then jumped over the wall. We could do that all day long. Marty's camera didn't work when your car was stolen? Wow, that's amazing. There isn't a truck there. There isn't one there. Yeah. Yeah, that's just not true, Julie. I know people say that over and over and over again. It's just, it isn't a factual thing. See, here's the thing. I've been working with images for years and years, like literally decades now. And people see all kinds of things. They think they zoom in and see pixels and they want to tell everybody, oh, look, it's a car. But the reality is there just isn't one there. Right? People just, I've known this for years. Even in the Delphi case, people just see all these things in different images and they're so certain of it. But if you just look at, if you know what you're looking at, after all that years of doing it, you just know that that's not there. So you're saying, let me 3 cars. Hold on. Yeah, maybe this person's just joking. I don't know. Have you tried to lighten up the background of the video? I have seen a truck in front of house by the road when he is bent to get foliage, and 3 vehicles there when back on the porch opposite side. That's just not reality, It's not, that doesn't happen. Yeah. But hey guys, any chance you guys could help support the channel? We need another challenge to get to the minimum goal tonight. Even after I explained the dire predicaments, we're just nothing, It's crazy. Really difficult night yet again. Yeah. So just look at the background and move, just look at it. And they said, and then after? What do you mean and then after? You can't even see through there. So he bends over. And somehow there's 3 cars over there? What are you talking about? And by the way, this light up here is not even close to where the road is. The road is down here. That's up by a house. We already went over all this, as a matter of fact. So the camera is filming out, and then look at this. It's probably this house right up here even that has those lights on it. You know, given the fact that, or it could be this one too. So let's see if it's looking up to the left. It could be like the edge of this one or this one, but it definitely isn't down there. Yeah, look at all those cars. Hey, there's Julie. Yeah, she said, what did she say? I don't remember. Any chance we can get that last challenge in? I thought she was going to do one up there, says F. Yeah, look at those cars. Yeah, it's amazing. They're all over the place. I mean, how do you see a car and then all of a sudden then there's three more? Nothing changes. I mean, this light over here, you know, slightly kind of moves a little, you know, like if you move it, it just sort of goes a little bit like that, but it's not even anywhere near this place, you know? It's way up there. I wonder if you could take these frames and lighten those up. I wonder what happens if you take that. Any chance we could do another challenge, you guys? Can you guys see how it's just absolutely dead as a doornail again? Just trying to keep things rolling along. Yeah, there's nothing there. It's too just dark. It's black. You know, it's crazy how much light that thing in his mouth does. Look above him there, how it lights up the whole area and the ground. You know, and you can see it up here, how it changes. See, even right there, he's holding it exactly how I think he did. See that? He's making it into sort of a horseshoe. See how he's bending it like that? Right there. Look at that. That's exactly what I was saying. See that? So you notice how he takes it and he bends it into like a horseshoe, and then it's missing video. And then he makes his way over here, and you can see him right here. He's doing the same thing. He bends it right there. Boom. He's probably placing it over the back of it, trying to pull it off. See right there, he's trying to work it into the back behind it a little bit. And then probably not too long after this shot right here, he pulls it off. We just don't get it. We don't see it. Cursing on his face. Yeah. Yeah, right now, you guys, we're at we're at 60% of a goal. If I add in the earlier show, we're not even at the goal either. So much. Oh man, this is just. Look at that. I never actually noticed that. Looks like it actually got stuck in there as he was pulling it. Look at that, you guys. There's the part of the plant right there. I don't know why I never really thought of looking in there. I did, Gray. I really did. No, you didn't. There it is. See? Looks like he tried to put it right behind there, and there must have been a spot where it sort of sticks up a little higher, and then he pulled it off. That's pretty interesting. I hadn't even looked at that before. The plant is actually on the camera itself. Like, it came off when he pulled it off. There's no way that would just fall off if you just kind of... It's pretty interesting. And then there it is down below. I don't know, that doesn't really help, Jim. We're not even at the goal combining two shows today. It's weird. I remember I never really looked at it when I was in close like that. I think that kind of verifies that theory for sure. Well, the Masters start tomorrow.
Make you be uncomfortable at 7 foot.
Oh, man. What's time's left? Oh, that's the final. Oh,
Got him for the bucket.
we lost. Again. We almost beat the Nuggets the other night, but then we played the Spurs tonight without Wemby, but they're still good anyways, and they beat us. This is the family's home, so there's at least two more. Yeah, we know, Miss Shivas. We already know all those. You don't need to fill us in on the answers, and yeah, we know that. Yeah, I'm just telling you where her room is. I've already gone over it. I mean, doesn't that bother you a little bit that that's still there? Like, even that? How come you didn't bother to, like, take this piece off and that? And, you know, it's evidence. Well, well, he's not in the Masters, Marty, but there you go. All right, there you go. We got somebody... Marty is, you know, really, you know, I guess you could, you know, Phyllis and Marty and a couple others. I don't know what's going on, man, you guys. It's just, it seems like there's such a lack of support for the channel to keep moving forward, doing what we're doing. So I don't know, maybe one of these days we'll just have to do something else in terms of, like, not worrying about our scholarship funds or the DNA funds or whatever the hell it is. We're just gonna let it ride off into the sunset. I don't know. I'm getting really tired of having to, like people always go, Gray, you're always asking for the, and I don't want to, you guys. I don't want to ask anymore. I'm tired of it. It should just be naturally like, oh, wait, this is a great channel. Look at the stuff he comes up with. But it doesn't happen, It's just like every night, like people always go, it's not natural, Gray. It's not natural. People aren't naturally giving. You're always asking. Well, because if you don't ask, nobody does it, If you sit there and stare at the screen and do 3 hours of shows, okay? I don't want to do that. It's just, it's getting really frustrating. And the trolls, they love it. Every time I have to ask or try to ask to get support, they just go absolutely nuts. And, I mean, are we ever going to get to a point where you guys just do it naturally, where it's just, I don't have to keep saying something? I mean, look at right now. Marty just did one. He's saying, hey, I'll send 50 if you guys send in 5. Where's the first one? We need 5 more, but there's none, right? So we're just sitting here twiddling thumbs, and we're just not going to make it, It's crazy. Man, I don't know how to, I just don't want to do it anymore, you guys. I don't want to keep asking, but yet every night I have to ask again. And then the trolls go, oh, there's Gray. He's asking. He's always asking. He's always asking. And I don't know, man. Other people get 6,000 people watching, and they make 400 or 500 in ad revenue on a live stream. We make $5 on my live streams, okay? So it really comes down to needing support from the people watching. Well, you know what? You say that, Beaufort and all that stuff, but we just don't really see the other people thinking the same thing. I'm going to keep doing the show. What I'm saying is, I don't know if we're, the stuff that we do on the side, that's where I rely on the people watching to support the channel. That's why I have to sit there and go, hey, you guys, we got a challenge on the screen. Did you see that? Marty just said he'll send in 50 if you guys send in 5. Not one soul sent in 5. So we're just still sitting here, and then it's sort of like, oh, well, we're not going to get that one. And it's like, I don't know what to say. It feels kind of, doesn't feel good, Yeah, well, I'm not going to play Powerball. Well, when there's ad revenue, no, Travelcata, but we haven't got hardly any this month. Ad revenue is shit, okay? 5 memberships or 5 people donating $5. We're just waiting. If 5 people donate 1 membership, then Marty will send 10 worth of coffee of the same amount, right? But you get, that's it, Yeah, some people, Tralicata, you might be one of them. But I wasn't talking to you, was I? I'm talking to the people who can afford it, but just never seem to want to help out. There's a lot of those people out there. And so we got the same people that, like Marty, Phyllis, heck, even, Wild Bill's not here tonight, but he's always helping out. And then Jim Lawn even. It's just like the same people. What do you mean, where do we go to? What do you mean? It's just right here, the little $sign underneath the video. When you're looking at the video. You can also send in to coffees or whatever, but... Yeah, it sure does, Lucy. Where'd you come from? Hadn't seen you all night. You guys are such trolls, man. They just show up. Never seen you before. Yeah, people think that, like, I call Marty up and go, hey, can you send in? Hey, Marty, can you? And it just isn't the way it is at all, man. Yes, we've talked. He's funnier than shit. I think thinks similar to me, on different things, but he has a funny way of wording things, where I think it's funny. Like we laugh, okay? But there's never any, hey, Marty, now here's what you need to do. These people are absolute fools who type this shit in. They're the ones that try to get a hold of his daughter. Hey, come check it out. Because one time he put his address in the show. They looked it up, and they got a hold of his daughter and said, hey, look at your dad. He's sending money. Hey, what's going on? I mean, what a bunch of losers these people are. People donate that can, and some people, even if they can, they don't. Okay? They just don't do it. So we have the same people that are, doing it. And so here we have, I just told you a minute ago, we need 5 gifted memberships to reach Marty's goal, and there hasn't been one. Okay? Don't you find that strange compared to how it used to be? Hey, good night, Richard Watts. Right. Yeah, Marty's actually a bot. He's not even real. I pay money to a service to have a person named Marty's Bar and Grill. Okay, Lucy. All right. Okay, Lucy. I've never seen you before. Yeah, and there's no reason that anybody needs. I think it sucks that, I have to defend Gray from what? I mean, you guys, it's just ridiculous. We've given $24,000 to a charity that is our scholarship fund, over $100,000 to a DNA fund, $30,000, way over $30,000 to Rain, NCMEC, and Texas EquiSearch each. Not 30 combined. I'm talking 90,000 plus to those. And that happens because people are supporting the channel, etc. I did a show earlier today, hardly any support at all. Just one person made one that was a $50 one that made it so we got to 80. So it was only 30 during an entire show. Now we're on to this show, and we're at 180. I mean, that's just that's crazy to do that much work for. And you have to, on a nightly basis, the channel has to net over 300 to get to the point where we're donating $3,000 or so, or maybe at that point you'd probably only do 2.5 to 3. Oh, they don't have good in them though, Phyllis, so they don't have powers to do that. So let's try it again, you guys. Marty up there has generously offered to do a challenge where he'll send in 10 coffees if 5 of you donate 1 channel membership. I think this picture right here is the creepiest picture, one of the creepiest crime photos I've ever seen. I mean, this is just the fact that that's real. It's a real thing. I mean, that is just insane, right? Look at that. That's one of the creepiest pictures ever. Hey, there you go. There's one, you guys. There's one. We need 4 more now. Yeah, let's see what happens if I put on a filter over here. Or not a filter, but it's an effect. I guess I already had that. So you can go like that, and then that's way too much. Well, there you go. Look at that. There's 4 of them. We just need 1 more, you guys, and then that'll get to Marty's. Yeah, that does kind of clear up that little road that goes out there, doesn't it? Let me see what happens if I go back to 0 again. I mean, you can still see it. Go maybe like that. And so that's a good sort of average there. Let's see what it looks like now when he's... Look at that. That's pretty good. It is a lot clearer back there, isn't it? Well, there you go, you guys. Thank you, Bo41, etc. But I'd like to get to a point on the show where I just don't ever have to, like, you know, hey, you guys, somebody puts a challenge in or whatever, and I have to sit there and shepherd it along when I could just be doing the show. And, you know, it's just kind of a way to help get to the goal on the show. I mean, when I put the goal up on the screen and then we reach the goal, everybody up, they stop on a dime, you know. But we have to have nights that sometimes it's better. There's a better flow and people are supporting the channel, and then you have good nights that kind of make up for the crappy ones. And this month so far, we've just kind of just been sneaking by, you know, each night. You like herding cats? It is. It is. It sucks. I mean, I you know, I understand why people don't like it, you know. But like, it seems like there's almost no option. I mean, I could sit here and just be and make, you know, bring in a third of the goal, and at the end of the month have nothing to donate, and literally, you know, just in a really bad place. So it's hard to do that. But Gray, and look at, you don't have to. Nobody has to do anything, nor do you. Am I expecting everybody to send in something? It's just that there's certain nights where, you know, there's people here and people just don't do it. You know, it's just sort of like, I wish I had 1,000 people watching every single night, and then when it was all said and done, I had 15 to 20,000 views, and it wouldn't really matter that much. It just isn't the way it is. All right, I make good videos too, but you know what? Nobody watches them. I'm not in the algorithm in this case. I have these great videos that get 4,000 views. Ashley Banfield could put out a video, and you know, I think some of my videos are better than some of hers, and she gets like 500,000 views, and I get 4. Not 400, 4,000. You know, like a ludicrously shitty number. Now, in the Idaho 4 case, I had videos that I get like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 views. Some of them even more than that. And then, you know, some of the other cases, way more than that even. But it's just, it is what it is. And, you know, she makes good videos, you know, but I'm just saying, I make some that are just sort of like technically better than other people who make videos sometimes. But those same videos, people watch, go, wow, great video, Gray. Did you share it? No, but, you know, and then it's like, okay, well, then it's just really difficult. Because I'm not in YouTube's algorithm. I wasn't picked as one of the ones that they decide to make sure to show. I put all the right tags in it. I do all that, the hashtags, all the tagging, etc. in most of the videos. And it just doesn't do a damn thing. At all. It's crazy. It's like herding cats. That's exactly right. Anyways, thanks up there to Phyllis and then Rebecca, Bo. A few times there by Bo. But watch, we'll do a show tomorrow. We'll be 25 minutes in. We'll be at 0. And then I'll have to say, hey, you guys, can you help support the channel? And then somebody will do. And then it'll be another night where it's just a struggle, you know. And I wish we could just not have those. So there's the what is this right here? That's the steps, right? That's the handrail to go down the steps. It's in the middle, I guess, right? Yeah, I can see the shadow of it right there. Let me see if I go right here. Should be able to. Yeah, there it is. The stairs are the little rails right in the middle there. So that's what we're looking at. That's what this is. So look at that. That's right where the car would be. So he knew that. I mean, look how obvious that is. If a car pulls in and it's right there, you'd be able to see exactly what that was. Where are the other cars that everybody's talking about? How is this being sold to people online? I'm kind of curious. Hey, Marty the bot, are you still there? I have to, hold on, let me click on some things. Okay, bot, where are you? Oh, geez. Seems like you guys have left again because Marty said, thanks, Phyllis, about 10 minutes ago. You know? Or is that another thanks? Maybe he said it before. Oh, there he is. There's the bot. Okay. Yeah, that one's just so much stuff going on. It's not as good a video as the next one. See how much. I mean, they're all a little bit like that. But see all that stuff moving around? That's just pixelation. It's not a solid video. I mean, when you brighten it up, you really can see all of it. I mean, it's when I say solid, I mean the lighting's so poor, you don't see clear edges, etc. That must be like a round bush over there. I think somebody might be onto something when they said that he's got his gun that way. It almost does seem like it's from Tombstone. And that's how Doc Holliday he had his gun just like that. A little bit more to the left. To the porch guy's left. I thought that was pretty funny when I said, man, did you come up with porch guy? Come on. Man, we got to have these names that are a little too kind. And like I showed you guys on her show, and I've showed you here, They produced these as two different clips. One ended here, then a new one started there. And so people had them in any which way, but the truth is, this is literally, see how his right foot is planted. How do you know he just didn't plant it? Well, what are the odds of that he planted it exactly on the same? So there it is. Boom. That's just like a half second later. And so this new clip starts like that. Yeah, he definitely looks like he's got like a goatee or something. For sure. God, how creepy is that? Jesus. That's weird. Man, you can really see everything just brightening it up like that. Just how right there, and then there's the road. But basically a second ago when I was looking back, I was standing about right there. So if there's any cars, they would be right down at this level. These lights up here have absolutely nothing to do with the vehicle, nor does this light over here. That's just a house, and there's another house there. I mean, look at this right here. See, there's the sidewalk, and basically if you draw a straight line from that sidewalk, you're just to the right of a bunch of lights. Let's see where that is. So let's go to the sidewalk. There it is. And we see the line of the sidewalk. So let's put a marker there, and then come out. I'm going to go really... Well, let's see. How can I do this? I guess if I go right there, right along there, and then just kind of trying to keep that as straight as possible. Yeah, so see that? Then that's likely, it's all, it's not perfectly straight, but it's just about. So that means that the lights you're seeing are very likely, like through the trees, some lights on the side of this house right there. That's what you're seeing through there. See that? It's a little up in the air. Just like if I went down, it's a street view. Look how it's up. Watch. It's up there. So that's what you're seeing through that camera lens right there. Right there. So you're seeing lights on that house. And then this one, whatever that is like straight ahead, a little lower. Or I'm not even sure what that is, but it's higher than the street. It's not a car. And then that one's off to the right. So that could be like maybe the reflection of that, whatever that is. Does that make sense? Let's see. And then just off to this, yeah, I mean, it easily could be that sign right there. And then we have probably a light over on this building as one that's sort of off to the right over here. It's all, yeah, exactly. So see, here's the street that goes out, and then it's just off to the right of that. So if you look at this, you're kind of like this, and then it's up here. So wherever that light is coming from one of these buildings here. See how we get this explanation here where, the details, it all just makes sense, but if you want to go somewhere else, they'll just try to tell you it's all kinds of different stuff for likes, views, and subs. I'm not going to pretend that that's what that is. Hey, thanks, Skeeter. Hey, you rock, Gray. Always love your thought-provoking shows. Well, thank you. Other than when I'm saying, hey, you guys, can you help support the channel? Hey, we got we have a challenge here, guys. We need 3 or 4 more of those. Hey, you're still out there, Coco Love? I remember on the previous show, it was funny. I typed in, I go, hey guys, if you can help support the channel, that would be great. And then she typed in, I can hear you say that. And I said, yeah, I bet it sounded like, I try to describe how I sounded. Yeah. When you look towards Nancy's house from the house on the hill, it's a perfect view. Yeah. Yeah, I just told you. I just showed you. You can't see it, like, when you're up here, you can't see your house perfectly. See that? I mean, these trees are there. It's just not, you can see everywhere you go. I've shown this many times, but it doesn't really matter. Everywhere you go out here, If you're out here and you look up, you can't see anything. On the street. The street is the most protected spot in the entire case. I mean, it's like, if you're on that street, you aren't going to get seen by any cameras, okay? Because every house is 50 yards off the road with bushes all over the place, and they're really meant to film somebody at your house, which most surveillance cameras are like that, by the way. You're meant to film people coming towards your home, but they're always, like they're filming a garage, and then the whole street's available too. This isn't one of those. This whole area is, you film the garage, and then you can't see a damn thing else. There's bushes and trees and everything. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying on Coffin Daffer's show. She was pointing out the homes, but I was saying that these homes are actually really close to each other. But the bushes and the way they plant everything gives each house the feeling of seclusion, and you sort of feel like you got your own little place out there. Yeah, you can sort of see a wall or some sort of a fence or something through the trees over there. But in reality, everybody's really close. We could measure this. Like this fence here to her house is, let's just do yards, is 28 yards. That's nothing. I mean, it's like a quarter of a football field. Absolutely no spacing at all. Well, thanks, Bo. Man, it's such a nice thing to say. I always hear such horrendous things by the trolls when they show up. What happens when you park your cursor on the driveway in front of the house? What do you mean? How can we keep bringing up that same one over and over again? Why don't you say what you're trying to get at, Rebecca, instead of sort of slowly having me do this? What are you trying to get at? I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't exist. Whatever you just typed in there. North Karada Chica. What are you talking about? It's not there. You have to type it in again. Okay, like when? On Google Earth? I don't see the Karada Chica that you're talking about. Did you spell it right? Oh, maybe this one. Okay, this one. Yeah, I just showed you that. I just did that. It's the one with the construction, right? I just showed you. When you're right there, you can't see. There's trees and bushes and everything all over the place. Now, if you're right here, you might be able to see down there, but I don't think so. Like, let's look through the, it's possible you might be able to see that. Let me look at this again. Yeah, see that little black bush right there? That appears to be this thing, that bush right there. So that means that we should be able to see, that road should go straight up over there. But I don't see that at all on there. It seems like there's bushes, or we see this, and that's the street, and then somehow we can't see the road that goes up right there. It's pretty weird, isn't it? That road should be like right over, well, Let's see. There's the center one. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this bush right there is this one right there. Just because of where it is. It's weird. Let me see a different date. Yeah, see it right there again. Yeah. So that's what I think. I think that is it. Whatever this is, that's the thing. So it should be that, okay, so there's, if you're looking at it like this, okay, so that goes up at an angle. That's kind of the angle of the camera we're looking at. So that means that, let's see, does that make sense? Yeah, look at that. So I think that is the sign, that thing right there that's lit up. I think that's that sign over there. So the street goes up. So I think that might be what this is. That right there, that's the street that goes up. And so maybe you're right if you can. There might be some trees right up here, but I guess you can see these lights. So I think this right there. Let's see. Here's how we can tell this. So whatever this is, does that look like a big telephone pole, or it looks like something? I mean, it's really thick there. So let's go down to right here and just see what looks anything like that. Maybe it's a big cactus. So it could be this one. Hold on, let me go look. Oh, that's crazy. I think that is what that is, though. Pretty sure that that's what that is. That's probably that cactus then. It's pretty interesting. So you like that, and there it is. That cactus right there is, if you go back, and then I'm trying to get, like, see the shadow of the rail? I'm trying to get that just to this black bush, just to the left of that. And then you come down, and then there's the sign right there. You guys see what I'm doing here off the roof? Can you see that? Then you go to here, and so then you have this, and then that cactus is right there, and then I think this right there is the driveway, and then up there there's some trees, and maybe part of that you can see there. But what do you want to get out of that? Yeah, I think that's a cactus there. And I think this right here is this. That's that sign. And you're getting some reflection on it. Then this cactus is that one. And then from that angle, that road has to go up like that. And that's then exactly what you're looking at over here. Even though it's hard to make it out, it's just right there. It goes all the way up there. That has to be what that is. So there you go. Now, there's also a whole bunch of other places that are under construction, too. There's this one. This one was under construction still recently. And then this was the one. It's really close, though. So you have this one, and then this one right there. And then I thought there was another one. Is this the one that was abandoned right here? And if it is, I mean, that'd be kind of interesting. That's what, I don't know if that's the one that's abandoned. Yeah. I like grass, trees, and different climates, you know. Like, I actually like winter, fall, spring, all that different stuff. We have them all. if you live in Hawaii or, you know, Arizona, things like that, it's just, or Florida, it's kind of the same all the time. Basically, I mean, it's always warm. I guess that's a good thing. You show. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying. Yeah, I already showed that earlier, though, so I already knew that that's what it was. We went over this a few weeks ago, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's a little clearer shot too, you know. Up that hill, so there's probably lights like right up here, ding, 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 ding. You know, and so when you look up there, I mean, there is this huge bunch of trees there. So when you go up there, I mean, that might be right there. I mean, I could literally dial this whole thing in if I put right where this huge cactus straight is. That's the one. And then you're kind of like, again, about like this. So that's right there. Cactus is right there. And so that means should be like a little like over there. There's part of that house, and then you see some over there. I'm not sure where that bush is in front of the house, though. What do you mean the shoe impression? Well, nobody's established that there's a shoe impression. You're talking about that little piece that I said earlier. Maybe that's a... You know, somebody else said it a long time. This thing right here, that thing. I mean, nobody's confirmed that that's what that is. I don't know. What makes you think that's the soul of them? I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's just... Sure, could be anything. I don't know. I don't know where you get that out of that. It just looks... Sure, who knows, okay? Who knows? I always thought the shoes that the suspect is wearing kind of look like Skechers or something, you know. All right, what about if I do a 5 for 5er, you guys? If you guys donate 5 memberships, I'll donate 5 myself. And it actually cost me the $25. All right, let's do it, you guys. That'll get us close, combining the shows. Might not to be too bad. All right, we can do it, right? Thought I was going to have to change my name to Wild Phil. Hey, it's Wild Bill. Wassman. But yeah, so we're trying to do a 5 for 5er on my end, you guys. I'm doing a challenge, okay? Can we try to reach mine? That would be sweet. Thank you. And here we go. We got Mike's Pam. I don't know what that is. Mike Spam. Mike Spam. Phyllis Watson. Thanks, Phyllis. Do you know if anyone ever did an analysis about what color the possible clothes? I've seen people just throw out images and try to get, ChatGPT to throw some colors on there. We don't know because it's you could have a jacket that's black, but if it has a shine to it, it looks really light in the infrared. So it looks way brighter than that. Looks, so you could have a yellow and a purple that had similar sort of, I guess light value to them, and they would look the same on the camera. So it's hard to tell. They'd have to find the shirt and try to figure out what, colors they have, etc. I think he bought every single thing that he has over at like the Walmart. I don't think he's wearing anything that he's ever worn before in his life that day right there. I think every single thing that he's wearing, he purchased somewhere so that he doesn't look familiar to anybody because he's not wearing anything that he normally wears. Hey, thank you guys. We got Mike Spam, Phyllis Watson, Bo, Miss Kyla, and we just need one more. We need one more channel membership, and then we'd reach that goal right there, the challenge. Yeah, it is. That's one of the things. It's like when you have this, it's like in the Idaho case. Wait a minute, man, you can almost see that. Oh, that was his head. I was like, man, is that the... Yeah. Yeah, those are the regular colors, yeah. Bo, again, thank you so much. And then Wild Bill Wassman. What's going on? Wild Bill, the legendary bass fisherman. There, let's do it. Here we go. Tune in next week when we have Wild Bill Wassman on, who's caught 3 7-pound bass in a row to win the national championship, everybody. That's Wild Bill Wassman. Check him out on the Bassmaster Classic, Wild Bill. All right, there you go. You passed out at about 7:30. You must be on the East Coast. All right. Oh wait, let me get mine in there. Hold on. Make sure to not do those. Don't do 50. That's just. I think Apple Pay is like. What is this thing? I think that's insane that if somebody bought something for $250, that you're paying $100 to Apple Pay for the privilege of using it. Don't you find that insane? Where the hell did they come up with this stuff? Let's see what it says. Apple charges 30% commission on super chats. God. And other in-app purchases made through the YouTube app on iOS devices. This fee is part of Apple's App Store policy, which mandates a 15 to 30% commission for digital goods or services purchased through their platform. You guys, man. There needs to be a public service freaking announcement on this. That's ridiculous. I just looked this up just now. That's a real thing. How is that even legal? That's crazy. Look at that. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? Hey, look at that. It's Tracy Von Brott. Well, I guess I have to stay on the rest of the 45 minutes so that you have some. Look at that crazy shit. We just snuck by on the minimum goal. Yeah. And we didn't make it to the point where I donate the mine, but I just did it anyways. So definitely could use, as many super chats as possible. Whatever anybody can do, that'd be great. Yeah, they take as much. So just think how crazy that it is. And so they actually charge the commission on top of it. So all these trolls out there were going, hey, it's $350 great. Well, it's not normally $350. If somebody bought 50 channel memberships. Normally, like on your PC or an Android, it costs $250. If you use Apple Pay, it's $350. And Apple got 100 of it. YouTube got $250, and the person whose channel it was on got $175 of that. So out of the $350 paid, only $175 made it to the person. That is ridiculous. $250 and only $175 going to the person's not great either, but man, it's a lot better than $350. Did you guys all know this about Apple Pay? Apple charges 30% commission on super chats. It doesn't charge. It actually puts the fee on first. So it's like, hey, what are you paying? Okay, great. We're putting 30% on there. Man, you guys. That's insane. So you should use your PC, or what I would do is just go into the YouTube on your phone and just have it attached to a regular credit card and use that, man. I really don't understand that. Why that's even legal. That's just sick. Man, that's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, use Apple Pay, guy. You go play a round of golf for $100, and now it's a $130 round because they're going to go ahead and throw that on there. Wow, look at that. Chris O'Connell. Thank you. How's it going, Chris O'Connell? Look at that. We got, let's see, Phyllis, Chris O'Connell. We got Marty. We got Wild Bill Wassman. We have Tracy Von Brott, Paulette Leonard, Travelcado, Vivian Fonseca, Bo. Not sure what do you want to be called up there, Bo? Just Bo? Because you have like Bo 41 something or other. Good evening, freaks. And then Wild Bill Wassman gifted another one. All right. Okay, let's see. So Tracy Von Brott, what are questions you have in this case right now? Other than who did it? People go, look, he's looking at somebody. They gave him a signal. Jeez. Look at this. He looks like that. He just kind of looks over there like, anybody coming? Okay. That's it. There's nobody sending a signal. No, he did great. You see that? He's doing ASL from the trees. All fine, folks. Kristen, Wild, Bill. Who's Kristen? I don't see it. Oh, man. Ooh, Jesus. What a long day. Heck of a racket. We're in the wrong bit. I know, it's crazy. Hey, you go buy a $10 cheeseburger and Apple gets $3. How did they come up with this and people use it? I mean, everybody uses Apple Pay. Oh, I use Apple Pay, man. It's like the greatest. Whew. Wow. Apple doesn't charge me extra on super chats, just memberships. Right. Well, that's the thing. You got to tie it all to. Just tie everything to your credit card. Right. Why not try? Why not just put even? Why use Apple Pay to buy memberships? Just put everything. Use a credit card that's your own. I mean, they're just. It's like highway robbery. Oh, you like that one? Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I was the one, like, prior to the show, I said, hey, I should tell them about the 3 minutes of, the 3 hours of, what is it called, of the video, rolling video. And she's like, oh, yeah, they would love to hear that. And then when I brought up, it sounded like she told me to do it before. I was like, no, I came up with that. I told you, hey, I've got this thing. I think it's really interesting. And I think how I described it was pretty good. You know? I wonder if I could do that again. I mean, I guess just looking at the screen right down here, see down at the bottom? Like, pretend that that's 3 hours of motions that were picked up. But, yeah, it's not going to look like that. You know, you wouldn't have, there'd be blank spots in there. But let's just pretend it is. And you recorded it over, you know, it records it. Then, as time goes by, it starts moving over. Like this thing right here is the hour mark. And it's going 2.5 hours, up, 3 hours. But as it's moving, like for example, let's just pretend that that's 3 hours. As it's moving along, it's deleting, and recording. But it's a rolling 3 hours. So it continues. Like if you're just looking at it like this, it goes. And you can still watch the video if it's within the last 3 hours. And then after that, it deletes them, and it's available to be written over. And that's why they struggled to find some of this stuff. And it doesn't hold it can hold up to 3 hours of video, but that's not what it's doing. It might record something at, let's say, 12:06, and then it records something again at 1 o'clock, and then one at 2:30, and then one at 3:05, and then, but as it was recording the 3:05 one, you could still see the one that was at 12:06, but then it moves over, and now that's past the 3 hours. That one's gone, and now it's moving over. Now you can see the one that was at 1 something, the one at 2 something. And that's still there, and then it's recording new ones, and then those all get deleted. I mean, it's pretty daunting. You know, so once it's deleted, it can be immediately written over by a new motion. So once, you know, let's just look at it like this. Now, 147, you got that motion, etc. Then you got the one at 212, but they don't say that there's any other motions. So they take her out the front. That camera's gone, so it's out of play, the one in the front. So the one in the back and the one by the garage. So that's, I guess what's interesting is the one that's in the front of the house is taken out of play, so it cannot record any more new motions. So it's lucky, I guess in a way, if it's all stored in the same cloud space. When he went back to the back of the house, it's possible at 2:12 that now that would be within the 3 hours. So the one at 2:12 that picked up motion, for some reason, It may have even recorded, I guess. I guess it's possible that that one recorded video at 2:12, but then at 1:47, and then at 2:12 it recorded. So that means at 3:40 or 4:47, the one filmed at 1:47 is deleted. Okay, the one at 2:12 is still sitting there until 5:12 in the morning. Then that one's deleted. And so so then those are already been deleted. The front door camera, the one that picked up motion, and maybe it even recorded a video. They just never were able to recover it because later on, when the family showed up I tell you where a big mistake might have been made in this case was not locating the camera in the backyard for such a long period of time, because as law enforcement moved around in the backyard, as the family showed up, etc., now it's writing over all of the, potentially over the deleted video space. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have all these recordings. You had one at 1:47, 2:12. I mean, when I say all of these, we have two of them, potential recordings, that were at 5:12. They were both had already been deleted in the morning. So that means when the family got there later, their motions potentially could have written over. Then any of law enforcement showing up later, their motions could be writing over. So they just got miraculously lucky to get this one clip, which is so vital, at 1:47 in the morning. They weren't able to retrieve, I bet you, the one at 2:12. They just say that a motion was detected, but that one may have been completely written over. As a matter of fact, that if it is sort of camera specifically allocated space on the cloud, then that camera was probably just absolutely inundated with motions until somebody finally looked up. Remember that when the FBI got there and they started removing it? It seemed like that was a day or so later. Yeah, we've already done that BCAS like 16, 20 times. In fact, on the screen right now, it's about as bright as you could ever imagine. Can you see that? Look how bright that is. Anyways, I'm not sure what you're talking about, man. We just spent like an hour doing that over and over again. How come there's no sources? Oh, there you go. Yeah, see, that's what the normal color looked like. We just went over that whole thing. Did you just get here or something? Why don't you hit the rewind button? You can see all of it. Look. You go like that, and you go, oh, look, there's all ooh! Look at that right there, you guys. Look at that. It looks like a mountain and then sort of a volcano blast. Ooh, look at this. It's a skull of a Fed. Look at, there's the eyeball. There's the top of the skull. And then we've got the mouth here. And then, you see that? Whew. Man, that's amazing, everybody. Unbelievable. It's a skull. I mean, it's just about as clear as you can get. Oh, wait. No, never mind. Let's see. So there you go. That's been brightened up a little bit there. See that? Wow. Unbelievable. Just, let's see. Woo. Oh my. Now look at you guys. This is what the irresponsible YouTubers do. Now look, you guys, I've been able to find layers in here. Look, see this layer here? Now look, they put another layer, and we got this one. And then look at that. You tell me those aren't 2 light bulbs right there. And then look at this. They keep putting more layers on, and then they add color to it. Now watch how when they add color, oh! Do you guys see that? They added color now. And then we got the... You mean you were just moving the dials on the contrast? Yeah. Yes, they do that. Tracy Von Bratt. Great! Look at the images of Tyler Robinson. There's layers on it. I can tell. Well, I can tell your brain stopped working a long time ago. See, Gray, that's why you don't have very many subs. You see, because you don't allow... You mean I don't allow garbage on here? I just want to have the factual, true information? Okay, thank you. No, the word is when they use AI and unmask. That's just... God, it's so stupid. Hey, everybody. I'll tell you what, one of the most embarrassing things that there was in this case is when this professional sketch artist drew a clear face of a guy, even though he's got a balaclava on. I mean, you don't know if half his nose got blown off in a tragic bass fishing accident. You don't know if, I mean, he could have like this huge thing on the side of his face. I mean, you guys, it's ridiculous. And then you have his hair where it's got a nice little part in it. Oh, he's got... here's what works for these people, though. They make these images. Oh, look, it's got a goatee, everybody. Ooh, 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 ooh. Look, it's got a goatee. And, sir, we can see that, right? So you make this generic dark-haired figure. Looks like probably dark. I make this dark-haired one with a goatee. And when it's all said and done, people will do side-by-sides with the sketch and go, oh, see? Right, because you put a goatee on it. Take the goatee off, shave both of them. Your guy doesn't look anything like the other guy, okay? You know what, the case that woke me up to all this bull crap that people do all the time is it was the Delphi case. And you know what it was? They took the sketch and they kept putting face after face after face right next to the sketch saying, see, this looks just like it. And you know what? When you look at each one of them next to the sketch, you go, I can see the similarity. Next guy, I can see it. Yep, kind of looks like that. Next guy, you know, he does sort of look, yeah, wow. That does look kind of like him. But you know what really proves that it's all BS? Is when you put up next to each other all of the photographs of the real people next to each other. They don't look anything like each other. Okay? They don't look like each other at all. But each one of them look kind of like the sketch. See, that's what I'm saying. These sketches are just so, you know, they're ludicrous in some way. Yeah. Well, we know about we've covered the Delphi case the whole time because you don't need to. They didn't make it into a 20-year-old. That was the original sketch that Betsy Blair had. That's what she thought he looked like, even though she was 100. She said that she was at the edge of the bridge, but it turns out she was not there. She was at the barricade, which turned out to be 120 feet away from the first platform, so she couldn't see that person at all. And that's something that they didn't say at all at trial. It's weird. You know, it's like, that's a huge thing to bring up. Like, her recollection is incorrect because she couldn't even see him. She got within 120 feet from him, then turned around. Yeah. Which one? What are you talking about, Jay? What case? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, you guys. I gotta start saying. I don't know how people do the, the fake stuff like the layers and all that, and really, sleep at night. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if we draw, like, there's a little loop there. If we do that, and then, oh, right there. Oh, look at there's another spot right there. Oh, look at that. You see that? And then, oh, whoa. There's no way that's a coincidence. See that? There's an eye there, and then sort of a bulging cheek. He's probably got chew in. And then right there is a nose, very pointed nose. We're going to see that. We're going to see that for sure. And then right there's a mouth, right? It's very interesting. We got to really start working with this. What is he really saying in the message when he's standing there, What is he trying to tell us? People do that. Whole videos with the same general, just completely bogus stuff. Is that your uncle? Whew. Wow. That's unbelievable. Well, why don't you send a tip to the tip line, okay? We get them right down there. Yeah, those are pretty big. Now, let's look at this. There's no way... And look at that shadow. Where's his head, for God's sakes, huh? Wouldn't his head be over here? I mean, forget the fact that he's bent over his neck over there. Forget it. I'm not even going to try to look at it. It should be right up there. This is obviously edited, everybody. I mean, look at that. Whew. Wow. That is unreal. Now look at right there. If we got an eye expert in here, I think they could take that eyeball and then put it into a database and come up with something. You get what I'm saying? Put that into a database and let's see what this comes up with. Well, it's going to come up with somebody with no eyeballs at all and just has a white eye socket. Okay? Let's move it to one. Somebody said this case could be solved if the FBI used an eye expert. So this is about the best you're going to get. How is that going to do anything? What are you going to see in this one? I mean, that's probably the best shot you're going to get. Let's see. Let's add a little. Make it a little brighter. Yeah, so changing the contrast is about the best thing you can do. Yeah. But it's weird. It always seems like there's a lot of space in there. You notice that? And that's sort of like, that's what Zozo was talking about, like the plucked eyebrow. Like where's the eyebrow? Guys are normally down lower, like right in there. But it just could be he's like opening his eyes. Yeah. See, there's not enough information to take a shot like that, put it into a database, and come up with somebody whose eyes look like that. Yeah, it's just because the sunlight. I mean, the infrared is shining on it. Probably bouncing. He's got the... Doesn't he have the light in his mouth then? Yeah, see, there's like a mustache. That's that little space right above the middle of your mustache. And then they got a lot of space there. Then that almost looks unusual, right? With the amount of space. Let's see. I guess unless you're kind of like, I don't know, like, like really making your, opening your eyes, right? Moving your eyebrows intentionally higher, That's right. That's right, sir. Let's call in the eyebrow experts. All right, let's call them in. It's an eyebrow expert. Now let's look at the reflection. Look! Look at that! It's nothing. You know what you should do is put something like just fake, like a stupid image right there, you know, that he's looking at. I tried doing that in the Jody Arias case, taking his, there was this one shot of Travis Alexander close up while he's in the shower, seated, and you could see it was a really clear shot of his eye. And I was trying to look for a reflection in the eye of Jody, but I think it was like the flash goes on at the same moment in time. So it kind of like it made it so you couldn't see. A video, you might have been able to see something. A mask under the balaclava? Sure. Yeah. He's got on, I love those ones. Chris O'Connell. Could it be? Sure. It could be a president's mask, you know. Maybe he's got on Nixon under there, and then he put on a balaclava on top of that. You know? So this here is all plastic too. In fact, what he did was he put this thing, you know those things that you use to put over your eyes to go sleeping with? He just cut little holes in that. And then put it underneath there. Then put the balaclava on. You see what I'm saying? Oh my God. Put the Pornhub logo. Jesus. I guess you're going to have to go there and go get it. The eyelids look to be hooded unless the tilt of the head makes the eyelid disappear. I don't know. Well, they made their own version of these, right? Yeah, so they had this one that was clear. I don't even remember when that shot is. When is that one? Hold on. That one? Wow, is that what they're using for that? Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, pretty close to that, right? Well, we know where Sarah Jane hangs out. All right, let's do the... Yeah, so I think it is that one. Yeah, they really... Yeah, it's kind of like that. There you go. Ish. There's a little bit clearer, though. So they probably have a better version of the video. Yeah, this is so creepy. It does kind of remind you of that one case that we did, right? With the guy, what was his name? And he got killed out at the car. But there was a guy at his door prior to that wearing a mask. I think a balaclava even. Yeah, Jonathan Clark. Do you think he's walking like that to avoid the camera? Or I think that he was trying to walk in a way where his height was hard to determine. Because he probably thought, when I go through this arch here, they might be able to determine exactly how high, so I'm just going to kind of bend over, and then over here he stood up. Because it doesn't seem to make any sense. He's looking at it now. He knows he's on camera and everything. But why is he walking like this? Right there. It's kind of weird, you know. And so at this point, his light's on, and it wasn't on before, but he turns it on to look down, so it's probably pitch black out right now. Just the infrared is able to pick him up, but for him it was like pitch black. So he turns the light on, looks down, he can see a little bit where he's going, and then he turns it off. See the reflection right there? See, watch how it goes off right there. Boom. So now the light's off, and then he moves forward, and then, like I showed you before, that's another frame. Hey, by the way, did you guys watch that movie Paradise on, was it Hulu? What channel was that on? I think it might be Hulu. Man, that's a good one. That's a really good show. It's got an interesting premise. You guys ever watch that? Paradise? I recommend everybody go watch. There's 2 seasons now. It's good. I know it's so well done in terms of, like, you know, when they go back and do flashbacks and everything, the way they put it all together, it's really creative and you know, fills in stuff for you. I did predict a few different things in there, like the one girl's pregnancy. Really bizarre story, you know, or premise. So you guys go check it out. Is there going to be a season 3? I hope so. That's one I would definitely. Paradise season 3 is confirmed. Oh, it's going to be the final chapter, though. The production starting in April of 2026, following a massive season 2 finale. The final season is expected to air in early 2027. The show will continue to follow Sterling K. Brown as Xavier Collins, with a likely focus on the consequences of the time manipulation. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Have you seen it? I don't know if it's really a political. I didn't really get there's just very few little references. I didn't feel like it was, well, it is in a, you know, like it's got the President of the United States, you know, they're living in a bunker to outlast. Just the premise of the story is scientists, like there's this guy on this campus who's telling people about this underwater volcano caldera that's going to explode, and people weren't really believing them, but then they started to believe, and then this lady and the government started building a massive underground world in Colorado, underneath the mountains, deep down, where they had fake sunlight, houses. I think there was like 25,000 people allowed to go down there, and they had homes and schools, and everything seemed normal, you know, like it just looked like a regular world, but when you look up in the so anyways, they built this whole thing, and and then there was parts of the story about like who was able to get there, how to get there, and there was people that didn't make it, but it turns out that it wasn't as bad as people. There was survivors out there. And then another factor was that nuclear weapons were China and Russia decided to launch nukes so that when the dust settles, they could do some things. But then the President of the United States, what he did was just to give you a little bit, is he pressed the button that it actually sends out like an EMP that destroyed all electronics basically on the planet. So no nukes were able to be, maybe one or two were able to get launched, but he destroyed them all. And so that allowed people to survive out there, but they didn't have any electricity or anything. They just had to kind of figure out how to make it. And then, let's see. But apparently, like the scientists who built this, they had this AI technology that was so powerful that it started to manipulate time. Like it could manipulate time, and I was sort of seeing that in some of the episodes, and I was thinking, man, he saw something that hasn't even happened yet. And then, it's just pretty interesting how they weave it all together. I would definitely watch it. Oh yeah, I remember the 100. Then I started not liking it later. Yeah, right. It started so good. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, the 100 was great. Like the first 2 seasons, maybe. I don't know. Just kind of got weird. Is that a different show? Baz B, White Lotus. Yeah, you guys go check it out. Oh, I haven't seen that one. What channel? Who has White Lotus? Yeah, well, you know what's weird is there's shows like The Walking Dead was, I think, one of the best. I mean, I thought it was one of the greatest series there ever was until, I don't know. I thought the Negan baseball bat stuff was just too much. It was like a bridge too far. It was just sort of, it was almost too traumatizing kind of thing. And then it just kind of got stupid. I remember they start that one season, they come back and they're all in a line, like they're British soldiers, and okay, here we go. And man, that lasted for like 2 seconds, Yeah, it just seemed, yeah, exactly. It seemed like that's right around the time it just kind of went downhill. Right around the time they had, Negan beats everybody up with the bat and stuff. But prior to that, it was pretty good. I wish they would actually just start a whole new series and just pick up at a time, and just kind of do something similar again. I just think I always liked even the Talking Dead afterwards, where you could talk through the episode. Then they got rid of that. And then now they have these little spin-offs, with Daryl. I mean, they're pretty decent. Like, I saw the one with Daryl, the one with Maggie and Negan. I don't know how that one's going to end. It's just sort of I don't know. I don't really go out of my way to watch those. Oh, yeah. And remember at the beginning? Oh, yeah. I never saw any baby walking. That would be weird, right? Well, they must know how to walk once they get that weird brain, right? Never mind they couldn't walk. That's pretty good. Well, they crawled fast. And I also thought it was funny on Walking Dead. Remember the first season? Those suckers were sprinting like Carl Lewis. And then they realized, this isn't going to work. They're just a little too fast. We're always going to have people running on every episode. So let's start slowing those bastards down a little bit. Then they start just creeping along, where you can actually moonwalk right by them, looking at their face. The Crawling Dead. The new series developed by Phyllis Watson. The Baby Zombies. A whole series where a community left all the baby zombies alive, much like the Preacher did, putting him in the barn in the first couple seasons. And so now it's just a series of babies crawling around that can kill. Hey, by the way, Lori Daybell and their little theory of... what was it? Their theory of zombies came from The Walking Dead. It was when, I think Sadiq, or I think that's what his name was, he said, my mom told me that every time you kill a zombie, it frees the soul. And I was thinking, that's exactly the theory in Chad and Lori Daybell's little story. And that episode came out way before they ever came up with their stupid theory of zombies. So you know that Chad was sitting around watching that going, oh, that's great. Yeah, we can deem people to be zombies, and then we can almost like legally kill them because we're really getting rid of the evil spirit and freeing the soul that's in there. Yeah, I kept watching after that. I thought that was okay. Really, after they shot the girl in the barn, that was like season 2, man. You missed out on like really good stuff. It might have even been season 2, I think. Because season 1 was short, like 6 episodes. And then I think season 2 was really pretty much over at that barn, that property. It was that's what turned Carol into who Carol was. So you missed out on all that great stuff. Yeah, but you got to admit, I think Lori defended herself better than way better than you would expect her to have defended herself, right? Just, you got to give her a little bit of props for, like, she really did defend herself on her own better than you would ever even imagine somebody as dumb, apparently, as Lori Daybell. Even lawyers are like, that wasn't too bad of a day or argument or something. Yeah. Well, I guess it's good to be crazy then, right? Yeah, I like Morgan. He was good. I watched Fear of the Walking Dead, too. That was pretty good. I don't know. I don't think he realized that people might have noticed that they should have brought that up in court. So your theory is that a zombie, once the body is killed, it frees the spirit inside, right? Well, yes, that's what we believe. Well, look at this episode. Let me play this. Isn't that weird that they said the same thing just a couple years before you put it into your thing? And it's about zombies, a show, and you got this crazy zombie theory? Don't you find that a little weird? Do you think that's a coincidence, ma'am? Yeah, my favorites were... I like Daryl, until Daryl... man, that guy looks like he's had about 75 rounds of plastic surgery at this point. Yeah, he's dumb. Yeah, and then remember they did that one series with Michonne and Rick? What a crappy spinoff that was. Like one season of just garbage. Didn't even... It's just a complete waste of time. Well, anyways, you guys, guess what? I'm at 4.5 hours today, combining the previous show. But thanks for hanging out in here and supporting the channel. And thank you, Marty's Bar and Grill, for some coffees in there. Very kind, very kind. Any other? Let's see. Oh, and somebody named Carolyn sent me a bucket of PayPal. Pretty nice. Thank you so much. And then we had Marty's Bar and Grill. Yeah, everybody just wants to send me all their images and pictures, and it's like, oh, there's a truck in the back. Okay, hold on a second. Jesus. And then they send me these pictures that are like the smallest things you've ever seen in your life. Look at, guy, they're not there, right? There's no truck in the background. The same person in there, they sent me these images that are literally 2 inches. You can't see anything in them. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Hold on a second. This is just such nonsense. It's just... Let me see what they're looking at there. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, you're not going to believe this, you guys. I'll download it. These people, they'll try to do anything. Anything to sell to the suckers out there. It's unreal. All right, hold on. You guys get to see this. I mean, that's how unclear this is. It's just a small, like right there. They say that that's a car. Look what they've done to this image, by the way. Look at this. Absolute nonsensical BS. They're saying that that's a car. I see what they're looking at. Oh, look, a headlight, a windshield, a side window, a top to the car. But look what they've done to this thing. Look at this. Yeah, you can find any... Well, look what I see. Oh, my God, a goblin. Look at right there. There's an eyeball and eyeball horns coming out of his head. Did they miss it? Did you miss the goblin, sir? Look at this. There's 2 eyeballs. I can even see the dot in the middle there, a nose. Big, bubbling cheeks there. It looks like it's eating some bubble gum there. Don't forget that. Don't miss that part. Looks like his glasses fell off. There's one of the 2 lenses right there. You put that up there. The little goblin would have those on for sure. No doubt about that. Oh, and look down here. They have a picture of a lady sideways. If we could flip that over, we'd see... Well, maybe it's actually somebody from the Middle East. It looks like they've got on a... These people are crazy, you guys. Let me show you the real picture. That's what it looks like. That's the clarity that you get. So yes, they do have that in there. They have that there. So where their car is, let's get that up there. Hey everybody, the legendary car. Here we go. So here's this. That means, okay, so this thing must be right here. So notice all the manipulation that's been done. All the weird stuff. You got that. So their vehicle is right here. Okay? Somehow, the vehicle's right there. But look at all of this swirly crap that they put on this. They took a screenshot from the same video marked by FBI, but stopped it when it was back on the port, blah, 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 blah. Dude, don't put that out there. That's embarrassing. Good Lord. Yikes. Yeah, see all this stuff, this manipulation that's been done here? Jeez, I mean, where is that even? Let's see if we move it around to there. Get that back up there. So that means this is zoomed in. See? Got that. How come I can't see the same goblin over here? Oh, there it is. Look at the eyeball there and the eyeball there. Jesus, you guys, it really is. If we just put 79,000 different filters on there, we can see it. Man, this is exactly what I was telling. When I said earlier, these people take images, they manipulate the living crap out of them, and then they see these things, and they want everybody to believe what they're seeing. I've seen it a million times. It's garbage. Okay, so JK, whatever the hell your name is, you're not seeing anything. I'm sorry. But people want me to go, wow, this is really interesting, you guys. Do you guys see the car there? Because they want me to be like, I'm supposed to be accepting and happy of everybody's thoughts and images, and you want me to look at something like that and get excited. Why can't I look at that and go, this is ludicrous? Okay? Because it is. Tell me what filters you put on there. I didn't gray. Nope. Unacceptable. We just saw it looked like something out of Mad Magazine at the end, where you had the little, that was sort of that shrink wrap, bubbly, shiny stuff on there. All right. So we're gonna go. Let's see. So thank you to Cheryl Bullock. We had Joel Burnt, Betty Black, Jim Lawn, Allie Cake, Skeeter, all gifted one. Then we had Phyllis Watson. I think she did a challenge. She gifted 5. Then she just gifted 5 randomly all by herself. Then we had Allie Cake gift 1. Then Jim Lawn gifted 5. Then Randizzle Randy gifted 1. I think there was another challenge or something there. And then we had Terry Crabtree. It says, enjoy your shows. Then Lizzie Robb. Then Daniel Gosen said, Gray and Freaks. This one says F gifted 1. Then we had Phyllis Watson gift 1. And Coco Love did 20. She also did 10 memberships on the stream earlier, which got us up to $80. Before that, it was just a catastrophe of a live stream. Then we had Jim Lawn, then in terms of financial. Then we had Bo gifted 1, then Bo again, then Phyllis, then Rebecca. I think that was Marty's challenges. And then Bo again, then Bo again, then Skeeter. You rock, Gray. Always love your thought-provoking shows. Well, thank you. And, by the way, if I'm in here and I go, oh, that's crazy, next day nobody cares. You don't have to worry, nobody's like, you don't even worry about it. It's like, I always say, Thanksgiving dinner in here. People argue, next day, nothing. Then we had Phyllis Watson again. And Mike Spam, Bo, Miss Skyla, Bo, and Wild Bill Wassman. Then I gifted 5. Then Chris O'Connell gifted 5. Then Wild Bill Wassman. All right. So thanks everybody for helping support the channel. Like I said before, I wish I didn't have to ask as much, and that's the only way to make it, though. That's the sad part, is like, I wish people were like, oh wait, let's go you guys, because we got a lot of stuff that we do here. Like this last month we donated $4,000 to true crime related causes. Sometimes we donate to wounded warriors, those kind of things. So I think we do a lot of great stuff here. I want to be able to keep doing that. and also survive as a channel. So if you guys, when you're watching, if we could just sort of make it happen, that would be awesome. We could shut the trolls up. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, anyways, thanks everybody for being here, and we will see you tomorrow. But who knows what tomorrow will bring? Oh yeah, they're already applying because we have an open scholarship right now. We have $6,000 in a scholarship that we just made available. Now there's people applying for it, so that'll get us up to 24,000 we've given out to people in the criminal justice world of education. So there you go. I mean, hell, we could have even given money to Brian Koberger. He didn't apply, though. We hadn't started it at that time. All right. Thanks, everybody. On that note, we'll see you guys later. And let's play the rap again. Be safe out
true
there.
crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person.
Brian Koberger,
That is
the
a
nutjob.
crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified
Human lie detector, I'm gonna get you on a stretcher. If you try and play me like an old projector, crime sector.
is my nectar. Professor Green
Right,
is gonna
just
give
like- it's
another
just like
lecture.
Rorschach,
Collector,
Phyllis,
freak
exactly this.
connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector.
Fool reflector, interceptor, great amino respector with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember,
I have a tip of fucking check ya.
I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll
What
just get
the
right
hell
back to
was
work.
that,
All right,
you
everybody.
bastard?
Talk to you.
All right, let me do the other one. Come on, you guys like this. It's pretty sweet. Yes, everybody, check for bushy eyebrows on the application. Thank you for watching Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we cover true crime using logic, reason, and common sense. 3 things that aren't common anymore in the true crime world. Thank you very much for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Jessica Schubach. I don't know why I said that name. I just wanted to say it. Jessica Schubach. Sounds like a professional German soccer player, you know. It's in the back of the net by Jessica Schubach.